Divine neutrality. It's one of those things that's really prevalent in the mind-heart field right now. And a little bit of a processing is occurring as we are unpacking the questions of divine neutrality for the collective. What is divine neutrality? Neutral point witness is us taking a step back from engaging in the reality and taking a mindfulness perspective from the higher self perspective. So the higher self holds neutrality. There's no polarized charge regarding anything that is occurring in the world or in anyone's individual reality. When divine neutrality is being expressed through the form, there's an ability to see all angles from a multidimensional perspective and a multidimensional scope regarding what is occurring in the world. And as a result, we can become a witness, right? It's essentially us watching the movie without engaging with the movie, right? It's witnessing the screenplay unfolding without having to hold an opinion. An opinion holds a charge. An opinion holds a polarity. And an opinion can actually, holding an opinion can create a dualistic construct and truly is charged as a dualistic construct, a 3D, 4D construct within our reality, right? So when we're holding divine witness, right, the question that was coming forward that I was hearing in the field was, I was hearing the people in the collective that were judging themselves for having a feeling or a reaction to an event, situation, pathway, individual, okay? So when we're holding neutrality, we're holding the perspective of the higher self within, but of course there's still a cellular charge or a cellular program that gets activated when we witness something, right? So it's different. Divine neutrality doesn't mean we're cold, right? So there's a difference. When we are disconnected from reality, and we are disconnected from a state of holding zero compassion and no heart-centered expression for what is occurring, right? We can have no feeling over what's occurring. So there's a difference between like the phrase coming through as a psychopathy or a sociopathy form of witnessing what's occurring in the world and divine neutrality. And what I was hearing is that there's this sense of people in the collective that are trying to hold neutrality, but are feeling something as a result of what they're seeing playing out in their reality. And they're starting to judge themselves that they're having a feeling, right? Every feeling comes forward to us as an activation point in our reality, right? That activation of a sequence within our DNA that we need to let go of, right? A feeling that activates a response within us that propels us into an action sequence to do something about this. Feelings are okay. So when we hold neutrality, a lot of people want to hold neutrality from a place of bypassing an experience. But if it is shown to you and there is a response, i.e. a trigger that occurs, and there's an emotional reaction, that situation came forward to create an effect with you so you can release the emotion from mind, from body, from energy field, from emotional body, pain body, ego body, mental body. So a part of holding neutrality is, we don't hold judgment and we don't sway and there's no opinion. It's the center line, right? It's the middle path of the master, holding the neutrality. But if you're holding neutrality and something occurs and you feel something, it doesn't mean that something is wrong with you, right? It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. What we're doing is we're trying to expand our scope beyond the singular point of perception of the 3D world that is fixed and limited. And we're trying not to hold opinion, to sway, or to create a side, or to keep creating dualistic constructs. A part of us holding neutrality is we dissolve the duality. And we see it from all perspectives, right? So we're the center scope of the bicycle wheel, and we spin the bicycle wheel, and we can see why it's occurring. But it is also dependent upon our level of consciousness, how much light we hold, and there's so many dependent factors on that. Where we're holding our vibration, right? What realm are we seeing it from? So neutrality is actually asking us to zoom out the scope from the human perspective and to take almost an eagle-eye view of what is occurring. But if you feel something, don't judge the fact that you are feeling in this now moment. We're feeling beings, right? And when we're going from being very galactic, right? So even when we're working through all of our galactic stuff and our galactic levels of embodiment, there are certain aspects that don't feel a lot and can be very neutral in the way that it witnesses everything. But when we begin to work with soul, right? Pure heart soul, there's a lot of feeling and compassion that gets activated in that requires us to feel those things, right? Because there's an emotional expression that wants to be released, but also too, it might hit a spot within you that causes a release, but also propels you into a trajectory to do something to assist that's highest aligned for you. So it's going to be different for every individual. But if you're trying to hold neutrality, okay, and you find that you can't hold that neutrality and that there's something that's occurring within you, this is that moment to take a step back and then to hold space for self to begin the process of clearing what is this showing me, right? And this is when we begin to embark on creating the question point with the body, with the cellular structure, with the holograms, with the soul, with the higher self, with the light body. What's going on here? What is this showing me within, right? So we can see that an emotion being felt is an opportunity to create a dialogue with self, right? Go back within, right? And we begin to, by feeling what we are observing within ourselves as a result of the programming or whatever it is, the more that we feel, we begin to neutralize the charge off the field and from the physical body regarding what we are feeling in that now moment. So once again, neutrality for us is truly about stepping into a place of witnessing what is occurring without attaching to what's occurring in the external reality. Okay. So there are people that are going to hold opinions, and there are people that are going to hold judgments, and that's just a part of the play that's occurring right now, and it's a part of the human condition. It's a part of all the fear that we've been enveloping ourselves in for eons of time. But as a result of us stepping out of that construct, right, and honoring mastery is a lot of mastery is that we begin to knock off the polarity in the programming and witness where the ego is running the show, where we are allowing certain aspects, plays, governing systems, bodies to affect us and to have an effect on our reality. And as a result, it's held somewhere in our body. So where can we begin to create that dialogue, to go within and to clear it at a deeper level and to knock off the polar charge from it, right? So there's a lot of people right now that I'm feeling within the field that are holding neutrality but are still feeling. And they're like, why am I feeling this right now? And they're starting to kind of condemn themselves and damn themselves for feeling. Well, you're a feeling being. Your emotions are valid. But the storyline doesn't have to be valid. You don't have to get caught up in the storyline, but you can process what you're feeling, right? You can process what you're feeling to knock off the polarity and come back to neutrality. So a part of us practicing neutrality, right, is if you start to go, I'm a neutral point witness, I'm a neutral point witness, I'm a neutral point witness, I'm holding neutrality, is now the universe goes, okay, you're going to hold neutrality. Let's show you some things. So you can knock that polarity out of your field. You can begin to dissolve it from your physical structure, and you can come to that place of neutrality within. Right? So even the same thing with starting to build a sacred container is when you step into divine love, you're going to begin to witness everywhere that you aren't loving yourself or everything unloving in your reality. You're going to begin to go through the process of deprogramming that. You're going to begin the process of completely disassembling those realities that you hold within you that are showing you that. So don't judge yourself if you're trying to be neutral right now and you're seeing things and they're having an effect on you. There's a lot that is clearing from the collective right now as well. And I stated this in a video earlier, and I feel called to say it again. There's a point in the process where we're clear our own programming, and it doesn't show up again until we have to clear it from the collective body. And then when our collective or soul tribe, oversoul group, however we want to view it, our collective that we are connected to with our physical body, is beginning the process of dissolving it, we have to dissolve it from ourselves as well. And so it's up to us to witness that and to recognize, hey, I cleared this, why is it coming up again? Well, is it collective, right? Am I shedding another layer of it? Really beginning to tune in and to know why it's occurring for ourselves, right? But it's also important for us to know that to be neutral doesn't mean that we automatically are now bypassing all emotions and all programming that exists within us. Many people want a shortcut to ascension. And the only way to it is through it. So we access the feeling state and we feel it all. And as we do, we begin to break it down more and more from our physical body until it's completely gone and there's no polarity held within for nothing to attach to with that emotional charge. It's okay to feel, right? If you're feeling something in the collective and it sparks something within you, or you see someone going through something and you're feeling something, honor the feeling and honor the emotion. Don't judge yourself for the fact that you're having the emotion or the feeling, right? It's an important part of the process to break down all of those feelings by feeling them all. Because the thing is that for a really long time, our feelings and our emotions were a point of control and manipulation. And so us being able to access the feeling realm and the emotions and to clear them all as they come up, it doesn't mean that we're never going to feel again. We're feeling beings. That's a part of the human sensory experience. We have 5 senses. We're going to access those senses still. But the thing is that we're just not allowing our emotions to be a point of manipulation by other people, right? Because a lot of people would feed off of our emotions to manipulate, to control, or to distort, right? And this is how agendas are upheld, is they work with our feeling states to keep us in certain places. So a part of us feeling those things that we need to feel from within ourselves is going to give us an opportunity to disassemble the control structures within us, but to be more mindful of what is occurring. And to feel everything that we need to feel. It's safe to feel, right? And even those emotions that a lot of people neglect, anger, frustration, right? Hatred, big ones that are clearing right now. And so if you're feeling those things, it's okay to feel them. But once again, we don't have to attach to the storyline. We just have to knock off the polarity by feeling what we need to feel and get it out of your system and then return back to connection, right? So part of this is that you don't just say, I'm neutral once, and then you just don't feel ever again. That's completely bypassing the human experience, so we might as well not be here if we're to do that. We are here in this dimension. We're here on this planet to go through this process. And as a result, each and every one of us has our own processes that we go through. And a number one requirement that I see for awakening and for ascension is to feel, right? Especially if you haven't felt before. So it doesn't mean all of a sudden, oh, I'm neutral now and I'm just not going to feel anything. We still feel. There's beauty in feeling. There's expansion in feeling. There's a density within you that is clearing as a result of you feeling. Think of that, the light came through. Your body began to ignite, right? Your light body began to come online. And as a result, there's some density that needed to leave, and that's what this is doing, is the light is exposing the density within and giving you an opportunity to clear it. And how do we clear it? We clear it by feeling. We go through it to get to it, right? It's a passageway. Think of it as a passageway, and you're just honoring it, right? It's a part of internal cleanup, right? Because the internal condition, the internal home is what is going to govern the realities from now on. It's been governing the realities, we just didn't know. So part of this internal cleanup, right, from really deep within, deep sacred love and respect for self, is that we do that cleanup work. And that cleanup work requires a lot of feeling. A lot of feeling. But when we hear people speak of divine neutrality, it's just saying don't hold an opinion, right? Because what you see now might not be the truth that you're seeing in that now moment, because truth shifts based upon our vibration. It depends upon our bandwidth, how much access we have within the quantum field, and what level of consciousness that we hold within and we have access to. Truth shifts and changes. And so a part of the neutrality is to remember that right now, in general, we don't have to hold an opinion, but we can sit back into this place of loving expression for what is occurring, right? And if we're called to take action in that direction, we take that action. And if we're called to just sit back and just hold and honor our truth, that's what we do. But if we were all to sit back and just do nothing, right? Nothing would get done in this world. So it's really about you tuning into your everything, your universe within, to allow that to guide you with what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to go, and how you're supposed to respond to it, right? For instance, if you were to see someone that was hungry on the street and you had an abundance of food in your home, what would you do? Right? What would you do? If you saw someone that was really struggling and needed some assistance and you had $100,000 in the bank account, what would you do? Right? Those people that take action in those situations are assisting in facilitating the change that is the New Earth trajectories, and that's assisting in this world. We need more kindness in this world, without a doubt. We need more kindness. And so those people that are taking those acts of kindness and compassion, that are saying no more, that are standing up for who they are, those are the things that are assisting, right? What we just need to be mindful of is that we're not playing out a distortion. That's all. And that's for everyone's individual trajectory. While some people are in the front lines and they're speaking their truth and they're doing those things, there's others that are taking a step back. And there's others that are creating videos like this, or there's other people that are healing, or there's people that are helping out in animal sanctuaries, and they're building homes, and they're just being kind, generous, nice people. Everyone's got their role to play here. So as a result, it doesn't mean we just sit back and do nothing. But sometimes that's what our call is, right? So it's really about honoring your path and what your higher self and your soul self is guiding you to do, right, in that now moment. But an important part of neutrality for all of us is to recognize that we're still feeling beings, and we can't just expect to hold neutrality and to not feel anymore. Okay. We're here to feel. But once again, what we're doing is we're knocking off the polarity of the depth of the feeling from within us, so we begin to dispel the charge from our field and from our physical body, and with an opportunity to come back to a place of neutrality. But we're still going to feel, right? It's okay to see something devastating happening and to feel sadness, right? It's okay to see a baby laughing and to feel laughter and happiness from that. Your feeling state is important. And so the sooner that we all recognize that, yeah, we're going to have feelings as they arise for ourselves, it's assisting us in opening our hearts to greater levels of compassion. And that's a beautiful thing. Compassion is okay. Compassion is okay. And instead of just going straight into neutrality for a lot of us, maybe if there's something that keeps happening over and over again and it's creating a feeling within you, maybe it's time to dive into the feeling. Maybe it's time to access that feeling state and to allow the feeling to arise within ourselves so we can clear it at a deeper and deeper level. Allow your whole body to feel everything. It assists in clearing. It really does. We're not here to bypass, right? And we're not here to blame. We're here to recognize that all of these systems we hold within us, and it's up to us to clear them out, right? And we can say no more, and we can do our work, and we can be a guardian, right? We can do the good work that we're called to do based upon your trajectory, your higher self, whatever it is, right? But there's nothing wrong with holding neutrality and then seeing and witnessing something and feeling, right? The idea is that we don't have to react to the feeling. So especially if it's, a fear program, what I like to call a fear campaign that exists within us. If it's sadness, grief, loss, whatever it might be for ourselves, right? That feeling is okay to have. Can you give yourself the opportunity to feel okay with feeling? It's okay to feel this emotion. It's okay. It's okay. There's a lot of people who are now recognizing how important it is to feel, and feeling can feel uncomfortable in the beginning. But the sooner we get comfortable with feeling, the sooner we'll get comfortable with our experience and to recognize that we are here to have an array of emotions for the soul's growth and the soul's trajectory. But we don't have to allow the emotions to be a point of control or manipulation, especially when it comes to fear. Okay. Fear is a liar. But it is a really good recognition within us where we still hold that, so we can have an opportunity to let it go and to feel it, but to not allow it to govern us, right? So the emotion doesn't have to dictate or control us. The emotion can be what it is, which is an emotion, and we can feel it out. And then when it's done, that's it. The emotion passes. This too shall pass. Okay. It always does. So don't judge yourself for holding neutrality and feeling. It's okay to feel. It's actually a really important part of the process. And just remember, the only way to it is through it. Okay. I love you guys. Be good.